Hello again. Today we're going to cook perkedel. It was one of the most popular kind of side dishes we served in the restaurant. People were often asking about it. What's the trick to it? What makes the flavour? But it's a really handy one to make at home. There were one or two ingredients you might find tricky to get, but the main part of it's pretty straightforward. We have boiled or baked potatoes that we allow to cool. So a tip would be to bake them in their skin. When they're cooked, take them out, cut them in half, let them cool a little bit so the moisture leaves, okay? Then I also had a can of chickpeas, which I just kind of boiled for about 4 or 5 minutes, allowed them to cool, chuck them with cool potato and kind of crush them up with my hands. We're not looking for palm puree, so don't go putting them through the mincer because they'll lose a lot of texture, okay? Then we get some finely diced red onions. You can use shallots if you want, they're just as good. We got about one diced or brunoise of a medium to large carrot. To that I add one celery rib that's already been diced as well in a brunoise or small squares, and then I pop them in a wok or a frying pan, and I really gently fry them just to soften them. Okay, we're not going to boil these veg, so we just want a little bit of bite left. To those I add about 10 curry leaves. Now these are dried curry leaves. You just crush them up with your hands or you chop them up. I don't know why they're called curry leaves, but if you smell them, they just really smell like curry. And they're really popular in Malaysian and Sri Lankan and Indonesian food, and they're completely okay to eat, okay? Alright? So, after you've sweated off those veg, this is what you get, alright? You pop it in with your potatoes and your chickpeas, alright? And to that, you add generous bit of salt. This is Irish sea salt, some cracked black pepper, alright, and you go with that. Again, be generous on the seasoning, and about half a teaspoon of nutmeg, or else half a whole nutmeg that you finely grate, okay? We pop this out of the way there now. I've got my oil heating in the background. So with that mix, pop it in a mixing bowl. In the old days it was really hard to get curry leaves, but I actually picked them up in the supermarket. Unfortunately I don't live anywhere near an Asian market, so but I was lucky I could get them in the local supermarket, so that means you can too. Now they're being mixed up there by hand, nothing too complicated. Now there will be a cheat involved in this, because in the restaurant we used to make our sauce using pickled aubergines that we'd pickle every couple of months, but I'm going to give you a really good cheat here. We'd also make our own mayonnaise from organic eggs, quite often duck eggs when you get them. Okay, so that's your mix. Alright, it looks pretty straightforward. Okay, now next step, we're going to make one. Alright, about whatever size you want really. You can do them in little balls, you can do them in kind of patty kind of things, reminiscent of the old spice burger. Alright, so that's a ball, that's about 80 grams. You can use the scales if you want it, and then you just press them slightly, like that, just to keep them together. Using a palette knife, give a little roll around like that. And we're going to do something called paneing, which is something I'm sure you're familiar with. It's kind of normally you'd be doing it with like chicken. If you're doing chicken goujons, you'd be paneing them. Okay, that's when you're using flour, some whipped up eggs with a little bit of milk, and some breadcrumbs. Now, to these breadcrumbs I've added a little bit of parmesan cheese. Alright, just for a bit of extra flavour, a little bit of kind of umami, and some white sesame seeds. Again, that's just going to give a little bit more texture, okay? Give it a little gentle mix, just to incorporate them. Now this is a really nice way of crumbing chicken or pork scallops too as well. It gives that nice bit of flavour and crunch. And you get a little bit of flour, roll it around a bit, into the egg wash. Normally we do one wet hand and one dry hand, but I forgot to do that today. Okay? Give it a gentle little cover, pop it in, give it a sprinkle. Okay? Cover it nice and generously. Alright, you can reshape it there with your hand if you want, because if you have corners you're going to have more crunch. Okay? And that's what you get right there. Okay, you see that? Okay, now we're going to pop either way, because naturally I prepared one earlier. Okay, so I'm going to pop a couple in the fryer. I'm going to show you what they look like while I get something else on the go. There's 2, which would be a generous starter. You know, be very careful with the oil. About 180 degrees is what you're looking for. And then, give your hands a quick wipe. And while they're frying, remember, everything's cooked and the potatoes are cooked. You're not going to get food poisoning. We're just warming them through. We want them to be golden brown. That's what we're looking for. Alright? So, the cheese. Here's a little bowl. And here's what we call aubergine pickle, also known as pickled brinjal. Now, this is where we're kind of this is a little hack. And you can get them in the Asian markets, most Asian markets, and they're really great. Alright? So I have a little bit here, a couple of spoons of it, and a big generous dollop of mayonnaise, and a little bit of lime juice, okay? So, I'll pop that in here. That's your pickled brinjal. We've got some regular mayonnaise, shop bought. You can make your own if you want. Okay, then you give them a little mix. Can you see that? See that colour coming through, can you? Now there's one thing missing from it. We're going to cut through the kind of fattiness of the mayonnaise and the oiliness of the pickles. So a little bit of lime juice. Mix it up a little bit more. Okay. This is nice and loose. It's a great dipping sauce. One that you might have thought of using before. See there? That's the consistency you're looking for, alright? Now, they're bubbling away in the background. Let's say we have about 2 minutes left on them. I'm going to turn them over. Be very careful. So again, 180 degrees, about 4 minutes will do that. Now we're going to have to serve them with something. So we're going to do a very straightforward little Asian slaw. So we've got some shredded white cabbage, some shredded carrot, and I've made up a little bit of Asian slaw dressing. In that I have some sesame oil, some fish sauce, some lime juice, a bit of sugar, and I'm just going to give it a little mix around, just for a bit of added freshness. You wouldn't want to be using coleslaw with this because you're putting mayo with mayo, and you know, it'd be a bit too rich. Okay? Some black sesame seeds, again for a little bit of crunch and a nice bit of colour too. I'm going to stir that up. Really fresh and light, perfect for a barbecue. Okay, we've got a nice plate here as well. Oops, a daisy. Now we're going to pop some of that on. You can use your hand or you can use tongs, whatever you want. Okay, give my hands a little wipe. Now put that away over here. Put that away over here. Now, there's celery in this, okay? And there's sesame seeds in this. They're not essential. So if you've allergy to celery or to the sesame seeds, just leave them out. Don't worry about it. If you don't want cheese in it, leave the parmesan out. They're not essential parts of this dish. All right. In fact, occasionally, for vegans that come into the restaurant, we leave the cheese out. We leave the egg wash out. We use soya milk instead for the wash, and we'd use soya mayonnaise. And we'd make the mayonnaise that way for them, okay? So it was a completely vegan-friendly dish. It was really popular, okay? Now, these are ready to go. Okay, be very careful lifting them out. Okay. You've got to really mind your fingers here. There you go. Nice deep, kind of golden colour. We're going to pop one here. I've got the chef fingers, so they tend not to feel the heat so much. Let me pop another one there. And we'll pop the sauce on too. Let me see what you think. This is a really handy way of using your leftover potatoes, and a little hack to make that really nice pickled aubergine mayonnaise. Alright, so what we have is Perkedel, which is a potato and chickpea kind of fritter with curry leaves and a pickled aubergine mayonnaise and a nice fresh Asian slaw. Alright, there you go. Thank you very much. And thanks for tuning in. Bye now.